Greetings! You're watching Septum Sen vs. the World. I'm Septum Sen, and today I'm here with Kotobuki Jake,
Hi.
and we're back for our weekly updates. It is Halloween season, and we get to see a lot of frightening things, and some frightening releases.
Yes.
One in particular scares me terribly that it is being released.
Talking about the Wesley Snipes movie?
No, I'm talking about a sequel to a
Piece.
series. Well, we're going to get to it as we go. So,
Okay.
I guess we'll have you start off this time.
Okay. First show that we have here, from the description and everything I've seen, probably would frighten a few people as well. But it's called Space Patrol Lulico. And I know relatively little about this, except it's a Funimation release about a girl whose father works for this space patrol. And something happens to him. I don't remember from the description exactly what it is. She is forced to take his place. I think she has the ability, when she's scared or upset or nervous, she becomes a weapon or something.
Becomes a gun.
Yeah. And from the art style and from the description, I'm expecting a very peculiar series. It looks a lot of fun. It looks weird and messed up and fun. And I intend to get to it one of these days.
One day.
Whether it'll be a priority. I'm kind of hit or miss on weird anime. He helped me get me into anime partly through Excel Saga, which is about as crazy as they come. But on the other hand, he enjoys Bobobo a lot more than I do.
Oh, yeah.
So, this will be worth a shot, I think.
Interesting enough, Watchmojo did top 10 weirdest anime.
Yeah.
Bobobo didn't even make the list. Puni Puni Poemi didn't make the list. Excel Saga didn't make the
Puni
list.
Puni Poemi?
Yeah, JoJo's
Really?
Bizarre Adventure got number one. Yeah, I don't know. I
See,
mean, that's
Puni
supposed
Puni
to be weird,
Poemi
but,
is one he showed me years ago. And it was so weird, I blocked it from my mind. And when he showed it to me again, I was like,
this is why I blocked it from my mind.
yes! Did they at least have cat soup on the list?
No.
Wow.
I want to say that they had some stuff that
weird.
was not so weird on there. We had Prison School on there and some of the others. To me, they're tame comparatively. Well, I got one that actually I consider slightly weird, but a very good concept, which is Relife. It's getting a release on Blu-ray. And, it's a 13-episode series, which does not do the series justice. I've read the manga, or at least up to the point where they've released so far. And it really is an excellent series, but it is a slow burn. It's about a sort of not middle-aged guy, I guess middle-aged for some people, because he's 30s, early 30s. And they treat it like he's in his upper 40s for the guy, just oh yeah.
Well,
You're 30 and you can't even run a mile because you're so old in your 30s. All right.
Damn you people.
When I was in my early 30s, I was still running many miles. But he's given a second chance at his high school life. Given a pill that makes him look younger, and he has to attend high school, and he forms friendships at the high school, especially with this particularly awkward girl. And I really do like this series. Like I said, it was a slow burn. It took a while for it to really warm up for me. So, by the time you get to the end of the series, you're just going to get warmed up with it. So I kind of feel sad that it's only 13 episodes. And I don't usually say that. Usually I want to get through a series and move on. But in this particular case, it really needs more. But still, not bad.
That's a recent one, though, isn't it?
It
There's
is.
probably
It is
still
recent.
there's a chance for another season, if it's...
That is true. I think it's 2 years old.
They seem to do that a lot more nowadays. They'll do, just do them in blocks. But every now and then you get an exception. And you've got one coming up in a minute. But speaking of shows with much more episode count...
Another one I know a lot about.
The next one we have is D. Gray Man. and you probably will have a lot more info on that than I do.
Good series.
I know it by name. This is a series that's been around for a minute, and it's well known by name. I don't really honestly remember much about it. I've never seen any part of the franchise. But what we have this week is, quote, Season 3, Part 1, Funimation release once again, and it's episodes 52 to 64.
Yeah.
So it's a 12-episode chunk?
Yeah,
but
it's typical thing.
Yeah,
Funimation.
so they're sort of like, we're going to do it in small chunks and then in bigger chunks sort of thing. And I don't know if they've started doing the bigger chunks for D. Gray Man. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. They've got like a Season 1 and Season 2 release that are full.
Okay.
I've wanted to get in this series, but the fact that they ended it about halfway through the series was reason for me to say, well, no. It's a pretty good shonen series. I mean, it kind of mixes arcane with your typical, shonen action. A little bit weird. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a darker version of Soul Eater, maybe. It's really a fairly good series. I was very sad to hear it only got 2 seasons released here in America. I've seen more than that, and
that's Season 3.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing this. It has like 100, I think it's 102 episodes. So I'm hoping to get a full release, and then maybe once they've got it into like maybe 4 blocks, I might go ahead and pick it up.
Isn't this one that was originally released by like Guinean or one of those others, and now they're doing a funny pickup, or was it?
I don't think so. I think it's always been Funimation.
Is it always been Funimation? And they just didn't finish it.
Yeah,
before?
they just did the first 2 seasons. They did Part 1, Part 2, Part 1, Part 2, then did full Season 1, full Season 2, some save editions, and that's it. Oh wait, it's my turn, isn't it?
Yes, and you get your favorite.
More One Piece.
Yes.
Well, if you're one of those people who wants to stay ahead of the game and be the furthest ahead on the physical releases, you can get Season 9 Part 3, which is 541 through 552. Me, I don't have enough space on my shelf to cover all of these releases. So I'm going to continue to wait. I think I just got recently volume 20 of the 26 episode releases. I'm a little bit behind, but I don't care.
And I should be having a nice eBay pickup from this series coming up soon.
But you also collect the bigger sets.
Yes, the 26 episode blocks. Yeah.
This is a smaller set.
So, next turn. Speaking of consolidating series, Sentai is doing a lot of consolidating right now. And we've got 2 of them coming up right here. This one is one that I think they had, 2 volumes before?
Yeah.
But it's a video game based series, Persona 4. I'm not very familiar with the series, but I know some people we know are. You probably know more than I do. But I think it's supposed to be like a mystery series, right? Kind of like an action mystery.
It's sort of like that, plus some arcane work. I mean, they summon these internal personas to do the fighting for them. I've only played Persona 4 Golden with some aspects, and I do have the original release of this on DVD when they went on sale. I haven't watched it yet, but what I've seen of the game, the story's got a good premise. It's won a lot of awards. It's gotten a lot of re-releases. I look forward to seeing the Persona 5 anime because the story is even better in that one. It's worth a check out, definitely.
I admit, one thing that hung me up on this one, and I haven't gotten any of it yet, but that's the same franchise as the one that NIS released, right? Or is it a different piece of it?
I want to say it is.
Because NIS did a Persona release too, but it was.
I can't remember which one.
But this is basically the complete edition of Persona 4. So, there you go.
So then we've got Amagami SS and SS Plus. I think you'll know more about this one than I do. I do own them, I believe. It's up there somewhere, maybe.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think you do. I'm almost.
I can't read it.
I can see them from here.
Okay. Because this one actually puts together both series. So you've got a 20-some episode series and a 13-episode series. They're both together in a nice little Blu-ray shell. So, nice little condensation for your pickups. And I'm actually kind of glad to see that.
Yeah.
I wish I'd waited and probably grabbed this one, but that's fine. I'm not too heartbroken. I mean, it's 2 DVDs versus 1 Blu-ray. It's not a huge condensation.
Well, actually, so you have a 1-disc set for Amagami SS?
I think I've got the full Amagami SS and then the full Amagami SS Plus.
So they'd already done a slight condensation.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that I own two collections for Amagami SS. Amagami SS Plus was released as one single piece because it's the shorter series. And I have not seen it yet, but I know of the series, and I know that it is very unusual in that it is a full-blown anthology series. A lot of the so-called harem series, they will incorporate all the different storylines into one linear plot. And sometimes they go off on tangents. I mean, Clannad was widely criticized for that. But basically, Clannad took the Nagisa track, but incorporated all the tangents into one story. Amagami SS doesn't do that. It takes each story and does a short, 2 to 3 episode block for each story. So you get more time with each girl, you get more time, and essentially you're watching alternate versions of the same story. And it's supposed to be really good. I intend to watch it. It's very early in the alphabet, so I might get to it one of these days soon. But there's just so much still there early on. And since I bought new copies, they don't have the priority level of used items. But it's one I want to see. But yes, if I get a chance to get this edition really cheap, I'll have to jump on it as a space saver. But since I already have it, But if you don't have the series yet, that's an excellent way to do it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, dating sims.
Yeah.
I agree.
Is that Foo?
Yeah, that's Foo.
Not a fan of The Sims, huh, Foo? Okay.
So this one is another premium release that got delayed. Just like with Gate, just like with Food Wars, another Sentai premium
are we switching
set.
up the order here?
Oh, did I say that one? Oh, it's yours.
Yeah, Ushio and Toro was mine. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, well, go ahead then.
We already covered it anyway. Ushio and Tora Premium apparently got pushed back a week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't even notice that.
They've all gotten... It's like every single premium's gotten pushed back a week. I mean, like I said, Gate and Food Wars got pushed back a week.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, with everything that happened with their facilities, I'm sure that probably delayed a lot of things, but...
Well, sadly, I think that you would do better with this one than me, which is Baby Driver. I think that you actually do have more to say about this one than me because I have nothing to say about it other than the name sounds familiar to me.
Well, Baby Driver
exactly
was a big hit this summer. It was a big hit. It came out, I'd never heard of it until it came to theaters, and everyone went to see it. That's really mostly what I know about it. I know it's an action film. I know it has Kevin Spacey and Jamie Foxx, so that's kind of cool. I know it was hugely popular, and I will watch it. But it wasn't on my radar before it came out, and so far I haven't heard anything about it that said this is must-see viewing, But it is coming out this week for those of you who either loved it or you're like, dang it, I wanted to see that. Well, now you got your chance.
Alright, now you get that.
So my turn. Speaking of movies that didn't catch my interest, this one I did hear about ahead of time, and I looked at it and said, well, that looks awful.
It's got your boy in it. It's got Will Ferrell.
Well, Will Ferrell is either awesome or painful, depending on what he's in. And I've been told that he's painful in this one. And I know, he's not a big Will Ferrell fan. I think he's a very, very talented actor.
Not in this.
But he really needs a better agent. But apparently he has a movie that came out this summer called The House. And it features him and Amy Poehler, who, similarly, she can be really good, but she sometimes makes poor career choices. And apparently they decide their daughter's college fund goes poof. And I don't remember exactly why that is. But anyway, in a desperate bid to make money for their daughter to go to school, they set up an illegal casino in their house. And stupid stuff ensues. Supposedly hilarity. But from everything I've read and heard and seen, I don't really have hopes for this one.
No.
Again, I like Will Ferrell. I like Amy Poehler. I think they could, one of these days, they'll probably make a great movie together. But from what I've heard, I don't think this is it. But if you're one of those people that has to check them out no matter what, here's your chance to rent it.
So our next particular one is one that could be sneaky.
This is one that is on my radar.
Because just the description, it might lead you to believe it's something different than what it is. Which is a movie called The Beguiled. Now, Sofia Coppola, I mean, she's pretty good. She's got a good name. But, it's about a girls' boarding school during the Civil War in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
That could actually mean an entirely different film than probably the drama that you're getting. But it's probably not what you're hoping for. It probably is that sort of Oscar bait drama.
Well, it's very much an Oscar bait drama. And this is a movie that has had a lot of controversy. Because, for one, apparently they excised a major character from the plot. And there was a movie that came out in the early 70s that was apparently very popular. That it's kind of like when the Coens remade True Grit. Okay. They were very explicit that it was based on the novel and not the movie. Sofia Coppola has said the same thing. This is based on the novel and not the movie. However, the novel and the original movie featured a character who has been excised from this version. I think I'd heard that there were some other casting oddities. But on the other hand, it's Sofia Coppola. She is the daughter of Francis Coppola, sister of Roman. Talent runs in the family. Yeah. They have made their mistakes. All of them have made their mistakes.
Yeah, she's had her misses.
Sofia is well known as one of the weakest points in the Godfather series. Apparently, she is not known to be able to act. But she can direct. Lost in Translation is one of the best films ever made. And The Virgin Suicides was great. Marie Antoinette was interesting. Yeah. I do want to see this. And it's got a great cast, too. Nicole Kidman, Kirsten Dunst, and what's her face? I can't remember the girl's name offhand, but she had a bit part in Spider-Man Homecoming, and she was the best thing in last year's The Nice Guys, which... she's an Australian actress. I can't remember her name. But anyway, she's in it. So I expect good things from this movie, but now I want to go find the original and see what the big deal is. So I don't know. Be interesting. And then you leave me with, oh my God. I agree with your comment.
Yeah.
Open Water 3. He wrote, why?
That's the real horror of this season. They released a third of that movie.
The IMDb comments apparently agree with you. We have discussed the Open Water franchise before on this channel. Yeah. From what I understand, there's nothing new to add with this one.
Lots of sharks.
If you really love the franchise, you get another one.
Well, I think it seems a lot more familiar because there's been a lot of this tendency lately to throw in a bunch of people trapped in a shark cage. Mm-hmm. And we've still got a bunch of people trapped in a shark cage. Mm-hmm. And they're sharks. Go figure. And the sharks are the bad guys.
And water.
Yeah, lots of water.
Lots of water. Out in the open.
Yeah. So, actually, the first one was a really unique and interesting concept. And the second one had its merits as well. But, I don't know. This particular one just, I don't know if this is going to... I mean, I've got OCD when it comes to collecting stuff. So when I see something like this come out, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why? Because I'm going to have to eventually put this in my collection at some point. I'm going to have to watch it at some point. Why are you making me do this? Why are you making me do this, people? Stop making these movies.
Okay.
So, I get another interesting one.
Yes.
It's a movie called Armed Response. To look at the cover, it looks like a typical, like, army action drama.
Yeah.
Then I read the description, which says it's a sci-fi action thriller.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't... There's a cognitive dissonance that goes there. Because it's just basically a cover. It shows like an AK or something like that.
It looks
on
like
the
a
cover.
bait and switch.
And so I'm sitting there expecting some sort of gun-ho, like Marines or whatever movie. And then I'm sitting there with some guys fighting some sort of aliens or something. I don't know.
You forgot to mention one of the biggest reasons why it's a bait and switch. It stars freaking Wesley Snipes. You see Wesley Snipes in a movie called Armed Response. What do you think it's going to be about? And apparently he doesn't even star in it. Apparently he just is like part of an ensemble cast.
That's like saying Danny Trejo's name on a movie.
Yeah.
And you realize that it's just a cameo.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I saw that and immediately dismissed it until I started reading the comments, and I was like, maybe I'll give that a go one day. But it's not a priority. Not like my next one. I'm excited about this.
You like my description?
Okay, description here. Okay, that's a lot of what I would say, although that's not quite as colorful as I would have put it. Okay, so this week's Criterion release. Apparently Criterion's doing about one a week, so yeah, that's kind of cool.
They'll release anything.
Apparently, and this goes back to that idea of they should not release brand new releases. This movie's like 2 years old, but it's Polish, so it might be like the first year for American release. I don't know. But anyway, The Lure is supposedly a very, 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 very loose adaptation of Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid. It's a Polish film. His description here says, carnivorous mermaid Polish 80s musical horror. Okay, so to back up a bit, you forgot romance.
Oh, well, yeah, horror
yes,
romance. Okay.
It is apparently a horror comedy romance musical set with 80s synth music, set in Poland, that features two sister mermaids who do this sort of nightclub act, and one of them ends up falling in love, and the other one they have to figure out, is this one going to be able to do this, or is the other one going to do whatever she can to keep them together? And it sounds really interesting and really weird. And the fact that Criterion's putting it out is like a seal of approval, I guess you could say. But it's so new.
They also put out Armageddon, so you know.
Well, we've established that that's worth a Criterion release. But anyway, it's so new. From what I understand of the content, it's going to be your typical deluxe edition DVD release, but with the Criterion stamp on it. This is one that I want. I'm intrigued by this, but I'm probably going to be willing to wait a couple years and see if they put out a better version.
I really do think that the Criterion, again, we spoke about this before, they really should wait to release these films. I mean, at least 5 years.
Yeah, 5 year minimum.
5 years.
Yeah.
Because then people can actually have seen it. You can get more people talking about it.
Right.
Get the people back in 5 years. They can do a little bit better retrospect.
Right. Awards history.
Yeah.
Like the actual box office history.
I mean, there's still people putting this up for awards at this point.
But it looks interesting.
So, mine, been very brief, unless you have a lot to say on this.
Not really.
Wish Upon Combo. That's a weird name. Basically, it's a monkey's paw type story. Woman finds a Chinese box thing, gets it open, and instead of the Hellraiser demons coming out and torturing her, she gets 7 wishes to torture her with. And like with the monkey's paw, of course, every wish comes with a twisted thing at the end. So,
Mm-hmm.
yep, that's pretty much what I got.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So,
And unfortunately, the next one, I didn't get much out of it either. But it's different, if nothing else.
hey, it's got the guy's Punisher on it.
Which guy? Thomas Jane?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's
yeah.
the new Punisher, yeah.
But anyway, Pilgrimage, it's apparently set in Ireland, like, back in the day. Like, it's
Crusades.
like Crusades, yeah. It's a Crusades set in Ireland. It has to deal with a monastery. It has to deal... Apparently, there's going to be a lot of sword play and that kind of stuff. It looked like your typical historical epic, but set in a time and place that you don't always see these epics.
Yeah.
So, for those who like historical dramas, it would be worth checking out. But, to be honest, very little of this screamed, you must see this. You know what I mean? So maybe one day I'll get to it, you know.
Now, here's one that I am a little bit interested in, which is the Dreamgirls extended cut. I think it's the first time the extended cut's been released.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I've seen the set. It actually looks really cool. I mean, it's one of those Blu-ray books. And I always love the Blu-ray books. They just they're cool looking. I mean,
like my Battle Royale set?
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Those are always cool looking. And that's really what I have to say about it, because Dreamgirls in itself... It speaks for itself. If you don't know Dreamgirls, watch Dreamgirls. It's worth seeing. It's not the best film on the market, but it certainly is a great musical.
Yeah.
It is. It's got some great performances. Probably one of Eddie Murphy's better performances in a long time.
Easily one of his better ones.
But that's not saying much out of what he has been in.
He's kind of like Will Ferrell. He's a talented actor who's made bad choices. Unfortunately, in the case of Eddie Murphy, one of those bad choices is he has cultivated a reputation for being one of the most colossal jerks in the movie industry. And he plays off of that persona beautifully in Dreamgirls. And he does do a really good job. It is a really good... Does this one have a Criterion release?
I don't know.
See, this is a movie that would warrant a Criterion release. But it's... It won 2 Oscars. It won Best Supporting Actress for Jennifer Hudson, and I think it was sound mixing was the other one. It really... I don't know. I've never seen the director's cut. I'm interested in seeing it. I couldn't tell from the Amazon page if there was much else in the way of new bonus features. It may just be a repackaging, but just with the longer cut.
Yeah.
So if you already own the movie, it may not really be worth it to run out and get this version.
Oh, not unless it's on sale for me.
But I admit, I have it on DVD, so one day I will have to convert it to Blu-ray. And Dreamgirls also, for me, is notable as a very part of a cinematic rarity for me. I have occasionally done double headers in one day, gone to the movies twice. I can only recall one time I've ever gone for 3 movies. And they were all turned out to be Oscar winners. But I saw Dreamgirls on the end of a triple bill that was The Queen, Pan's Labyrinth, and Dreamgirls. And that was a really good day at the movies.
That's a very strange day at the movies.
Yeah, it's very random.
You get a lot of variety out of that.
But all of those ended up winning, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, if you've never seen Dreamgirls, you got to at least watch it once. Yeah. If you even remotely like the kind of music, that kind of 70s sort of Motown feel music, like I think it was loosely based on Diana Ross and the Supremes, right?
I think so,
yeah. And it's like, and Eddie Murphy's character is kind of loosely based on sort of like James Brown and that sort of character. So if you even remotely like that kind of music, Bill Condon's the director. He's a very talented director. Beyonce is the main female star, and it kind of launched her actress career. And again, Jennifer Hudson, you know, talking about weird and random, we had a former American Idol contestant. And Marky Mark was up for his first Oscar that year, and all these people were like, it was the most random assortment I think I've ever seen at the Oscars of nominees, and it was kind of fun. It was fun to watch. I wish we could do that more often. But anyway, so watch that. And then we got one last one this week. The Leftovers, Season 3.
Yeah, whatever.
HBO series. Neither of us has seen it. I know the basic gist of it is 2% of the Earth, of people on the Earth have disappeared. I don't know if this is supposed to be the Rapture or something, but I don't know for sure what the gist of it is.
Only 2, huh?
I know it features Christopher Eccleston and who is the main female? Is it Deborah Winger? It's not.
I don't know. I know nothing about
Christopher
this series.
Eccleston is the one that's stuck in my brain. It's got a good cast. It's an HBO series, and I generally...
It's 3 seasons.
Yeah.
What's
up?
It's only 3 seasons.
Yeah.
That's the last season.
This is the final season?
Yeah, last season.
Okay. So, if you like the show, then here's your chance to finish the collection. Yep. Until next week when there'll be a complete collection coming out.
Oh, of course.
Well, I don't know if there is or not.
Well,
there probably will, but but yeah, it looks interesting. Mm-hmm. I am very much a fan of what little HBO TV I've seen, so could be good.
Yeah, next week's big on Samurai Jack, it looks like.
Yeah.
So we're going to be getting some interesting stuff coming up next week. Mm-hmm. I do look forward to it.
Yeah.
Actually, week after next, because this is for the release of the, 7 days from tomorrow, so the 10th. Mm-hmm. So, so the 17th. But, in any case, please like if you enjoyed this. Mm-hmm. Please, of course, share this. This is the kind of news that I'm sure that people would find interesting if they do get to see it. And then, of course, subscribe and comment. Is there something that we're missing? Sometimes I miss a release. I would love to say, it's like, oh, wait, you missed that one. Can you tell us about that? Or was there something in here that you particularly loved? I mean, maybe you were like big into, Open Water 3. Maybe this was like one of your favorite movies of the year, and you're just like, no, you got to see this. This is why. And, convince Jake. Actually, convince him to see it, because I got to see it anyway. Have him say, yeah, I got to see this now.
Actually, along those lines, I am always looking for suggestions of what needs to be seen, so that when Oscar season rolls around, I can say I have a badass list of what needs to be seen. I'm up to a whopping 13 films for this year right now, so I'm looking for more.
Open Water 3?
14 films for this year. But I don't think that's going to make the list. But I'll be more than happy to add Baby Driver to the list if enough people say, hey, you got to watch this.
True.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we'll see you on the next one.
All right.